everybody, as a very informal and informative call for everyone to discuss the Sunrider products, to get a little bit more educated, share your experiences, ask some questions. And week to week, we have a little bit of a theme. Sometimes we add on to that theme, depending on what you all are interested in. Okay? So I'm Dr. Karen Spencer-Dees, and I am hosting this call this evening. I started this call. You guys are going to fall down. 20 years ago, I started doing this call. And it has been successful for years. And it's really successful because we all really share a common interest, which is we all really believe in being the best we can be in terms of our health, and then also in sharing the concept of health. And for me, my background is in the fields of biology and nutrition. It's where I have my doctorates. I've been in private practice for over 20 years and been with Stanford at the hospital and focused on infertility and the endocrine system. And for those of you that know this, but a few of you have asked this, my double major was in children's nutrition and in allergies. So I am highly familiar when you ask all those kinds of questions about allergic responses or about what the ingredients are. For me, I really just want you to understand that this is your call, okay? So the goal is that you really feel confident and safe and excited to use these foods, experiment with these foods, whether they're on your skin, in your home, in your bodies, and then the freedom to also use these with your family, with your friends, and really get out there and share them. I have raised all four of my children with the Sunrider products. Some of them I'm still raising. Some of them are grown now. My family all consumes these, my parents. And so I see the spectrum, whether it's with patients, clients, right, customers, or just within the house. And what I've really come to realize with Sunrider is one of the common denominators for all of us, guys, is that this philosophy that Sunrider really has revolutionized, the philosophy of regeneration, impacts every one of us regardless of where our health is at or what age bracket we're at. And that philosophy is really what separates and makes Sunrider so unique and special. What that philosophy really is about is that if you really take, right, the creme de la creme, the vegetables and the fruits when they're at the peak of their harvest, when they have the most nutrition, and you concentrate them, meaning, think about this. If I were to pick, I've said this before, 10 beautiful carrots from the garden, but eating those 10 might give me a stomach ache, but I need the nutrition of those 10 to actually help my body, right, to do what it was meant to do. Sunrider has found a way to take the nutrition of all 10 of those carrots and spray dry that nutrition on one carrot, and you eat that one carrot, but you get the nutrition of all 10. What happens when you get that kind of concentrated nutrition, and you get it from a combination of all different herbs, all different vegetables, all different fruits, and they're all at the peak of nutrition, and they're all concentrated. And you put those in your body can do miraculous things. It can repair itself, it can renew itself, and it can regenerate itself, which means really to make new. Or as I like to say, to turn back the clock, right? To give us our youth back, to allow for our systems and our organs to age in a different way, to reverse the clock, that although we might be going in the direction chronologically of aging, our bodies are doing something different. They are regenerating and repairing themselves. So we feel anew, and our bodies act, and they respond anew at all ages. And that's what really regeneration is about. Think about it one more time. If I take the right combination fruits and vegetables. I'm going to give you some easy ways to think about this. And I were to put the right combination together for you, whether it's for your digestive tract or it's for the health of your respiratory system, right? Or it is for the health of your immune system. And you were able to consume that every day and allow your body to do what it was designed to do, you would see regeneration happening. And you would have an extended life and an extended quality of your life. And who knows, right, what that would look like. What is amazing is that Drs. Chen revolutionized this. When they formulated and began Sunrider, it was based on this philosophy, right? If we, again, can give our bodies what they need and enough of it, and in a way that it's digestible and absorbable, what was the body possible, right, of? What kind of repair could it do? And with the knowledge base of Drs. Chen in pharmacology, herbology, nutrition, and in medicine, they brought together the best of the East, or the Eastern philosophy of eating today for an extended, healthier future life, and the best of the Western philosophy, which was what I eat and consume today will give me health today. So we are now looking at the best of all factors. I will eat today and have a better today, and I will also eat today and have a better tomorrow. It's what offers all of us hope. And so when I looked at this company a long time ago, I was in college, and I had my own health challenges. I ate and used these foods for my own health challenges. And I began to really think about the impact food has on our bodies and something else, our minds. And today, what we're going to really dive into is the health of your brain. What can we eat that gives you more memory? What can we eat that helps to regenerate, right, the brain? And for weeks, so many of you, and my goodness, there's almost 80 of you on this call tonight already. So many of you have been emailing saying that you really feel like we covered the body from the neck down, which I had to chuckle at, instead of the neck up. And you wanted to really know, what could you really eat that would help you to feel that your brain health was also, right, going in the direction of recovery, of regeneration, but also a lot of you have genetics where you're very concerned about the quality long-term of your mind. And for a lot of you, this has been a constant email. So we're going to cover it tonight, okay? I want to begin, though, before we talk about brain health, with asking you, as I always love to ask you, has anyone had any aha moments or used these products in a new way that's giving you a new moment with your recovery and your regeneration? Feel free, guys, to unmute yourselves and jump back on.
I have something that I think is kind of interesting. I cut myself on my thumb with some scissors, and it got just kind of like a V-shaped cut, which was kind of deep, and it bled a lot. And I couldn't keep a bandage on because I'd get my hands wet, and it would just always irritate it. I mean, it wouldn't keep it protected. And so I remembered somebody had said one time about using Sunnydew or Sun Nectar as like an invisible bandage. And I did that, and it didn't start healing until I did that. It didn't really start healing. And it's just amazing to me. It even gets like a little white around it, like a protective coating on it. And I don't know if anybody else has ever used that, but it's really great to use like a Band-Aid on at least on a small store. So
well, I want to make sure. You use Sunnydew?
I use Sunnydew, but you could use either one of them.
That's fantastic.
And it heals.
It is. That's fantastic.
It's still healing because it's been, but I mean, now it's healing. Before it just wasn't healing. It just stayed the same because I kept irritating it. And you know, when you put a Band-Aid on, it keeps it sort of moist. It doesn't let the air get to it.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it's just amazing because I did it one day and I thought it looked better. And then I kind of forgot about it, and then I'd washed my hands and stuff. And so the next day I thought, well, I'm going to try it again. And it was just almost, within a short time, I could just tell the difference.
I love this. This is wonderful. So I want to add on to this. Guys, talking about the Sunnydew, which a lot of you use as a sweetener, right? There's Sunnydew and Sun Nectar, and this is the root that's called Stevia rubidiana, or the short term, it will say stevia. Sunrider uses a combination of the whole root, and I want to remind everybody that all that Sunrider uses is what we call whole food, meaning that it's still in its whole food form, right? The carrot, the apple, it may look like a capsule or a liquid, but it's still in its whole food form. What is happening, which is fascinating, is there's a lot of other benefits, right? I always like to say side benefits to all of the different herbs that we're using. And sometimes the result has nothing to do, right, with how we introduce it. So stevia, or our Sunnydew and Sun Nectar, really help regulate your blood sugar. And it happens to be sweet. It's not actual sugar. It's just actually sweet. It's a sweet root. And so when you put it in your water or your Cali beverage or your Fortune Delight, it gives it a really beautiful, sweet flavor, but also helps regulate blood sugar. Now, here's the interesting part to this. Part of the benefit of this root is that it's antifungal. It's also antibacterial. And so if you use it externally, it has these amazing healing properties, right? And this is a perfect example of taking care of bacteria or healing an open wound, right? Or healing fungus. It does the same thing when we talk about yeast infections internally, and all of you are squirting your Sunnydew in your drinks to take care of something internally. This is the perfect example of why I keep an extra one in the bathroom next to the Band-Aids, because I use it the same way. Externally, if someone falls, if they get cut, I squirt that on. One of the best examples I have is many years ago when my husband and I were dating, and my gosh, it's over 20 years now, and he was a professional cyclist, and he toured in the Tour de France and some of these big term tours, and he fell, and he cut the side of his leg, and I handed him our Sun Nectar. At that time, we didn't have Sunnydew, and it was just the dark black color, and he squirted that all up and down his leg, and although it burned, it healed beautifully. And I remember watching that and thinking, that's fantastic, that there's another tool, right, as we're talking about, that's natural and that has these amazing healing qualities that I get to see externally because I also now know what it's doing internally. But for all of you who love these testimonies of the extra things that some of our products can do, get a Sun Nectar or get a Sunnydew, and anytime anyone falls, cuts, and we use a lot of times our Sun Breeze, right, if there is a burn or if a blister. But if there's a cut, use your Sunnydew or your Sun Nectar. It's wonderful to heal, okay? And I love that testimony. That's great. Thank you for sharing that. I guarantee you everyone who's on this call is thinking, I didn't know that. So that is wonderful. So I want to start, everybody, with just kind of answering these questions, and then I'll give you all time to share all of your experiences. There was an article, and I love to give you a little bit of research because I think it's important. There was an article that was actually published a few weeks ago, and it's been reposted a few times, and for those of you that want it, I will send it to you. But the gist of it was, does memory have to fade as we age, or is that a myth? And a lot of, whether you're in from a scientific perspective or you're looking at it from a very holistic perspective, everybody's on the same page. You don't have to lose your memory. The brain doesn't have to degenerate just because we age. And how do we do that? And what are the nutrients? And what are the right foods, right? And this is kind of what you'll start to see, guys, in 2021. There'll be a lot of information coming out on how to feed the brain. And what I want to share with you are some of these basics and where Sunrider fits into that, okay? And this is a year, guys, not just to invest from the neck down, but also the neck up, all right? We need to be functioning as a whole body, not just, as we like to talk about, our 5 major systems, but include our brain. One of the factors I want to remind everybody of has to do with essential fatty acids, or these monounsaturated fatty acids. And these are, for a lot of you, especially because a lot of you are vegan or vegetarian, some of you are day-to-day, you make different choices, but I want to remind you of the importance of getting these essential fatty acids in your diet every single day. And I'm going to give you a few, just so you kind of have these. For those of you that do eat fish, I want to remind you that we're always looking at cold water fish, and we're looking at fish that are in the deepest part of the ocean. We are not, as I always chuckle, looking for fish that really are coming from the lake or the stream, even though they're wonderful. When we're talking about essential fatty acids and we're talking about the health of the brain, we're really looking at salmon. Okay? We're looking at, for a lot of you that do like this, all versions of salmon. And I'm not going to get into a conversation on salmon. I just want you to know that that's one of the cold water fish that if you'd like to improve the health of your brain, you could include that. But in addition, guys, so are all of your nuts and your seeds. And for a lot of you, you don't actually eat a lot of these. You like them, but they're a hit or miss. So I want to remind you that your nuts, for those of you that do not have a nut allergy, okay, this is important. We want to look at nuts that have no hydrogenated oils. Remember that, guys, when you're reading labels, you don't want something that's been processed that way. We want to get the benefit, for those of you that can eat the nut, of the nut. And we want the best possible, right? The best possible omega fatty acids we can get from it. You can also, for those of you who like this, use nut butters. It can be cashew, right? It can be almond butter. It doesn't have to be a peanut butter. It can be a sun butter. There's all versions of these that work. But same with your seeds. So I want to remind you, whether it's pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, make sure, read your labels. No hydrogenated oils at all, and preferably unsalted. Okay? For those of you that like the version of a nut butter, you'd also like a seed butter, such as pumpkin seed butter. Or for those of you like myself who happen to like the flavor of sesame, tahini is wonderful, right? It's just ground up sesame seeds. I want you to really think as you're eating your salads or your vegetables, for those of you that can consume seeds and nuts, that these are a wonderful way to increase the health of your brain. For those of you that like fish, look for cold water fish, and preferably something like salmon. This is just an easy aha for everybody. For those of you that like avocados, that is a miracle food when it comes to the brain. I understand the factor a lot of you have about weight, and again, that's another conversation for another day. But the monounsaturated nutrition in an avocado is spectacular. And so a lot of you would benefit from adding some avocado to your smoothies. For my own children, right, who have been home now all year, since a lot of us have been home, I do a lot of avocado toast. They love it. They love it. Everybody gets half an avocado every morning. Some of them eat a whole avocado. I want you to really think about how can I improve not just, right, what supplements I'm consuming, but also the food. Because when we look at Sunrider equates to the food. So if you're eating an avocado, just like you guys love to make smoothies, here's a trick. Put your New Plus in a mashed avocado. Just make what looks like a guacamole, but add your quinine. Take a look at how can I put in my Sunrider, which is food, and combine it with my food. Always think, right? How can I improve upon where I'm at?
You scared me at first.
Oh, guys, I'm going to have you star 6. I'm not sure who got scared, but just want you to know I can hear you. Okay? There was a wonderful Harvard study that just came out. It was in 2020. And believe it or not, it showed that a correct multivitamin that had enough omega-3, 6, 9, and correct minerals actually improved the quality and function of the brain. And as I said to you a few weeks ago, is everybody using and consuming your MetaBalance 44? This is something easy and something everybody can do at all ages. And for that one person who just asked me, can my children and my teenagers consume MetaBalance? Absolutely. If they can swallow it, right, they can absolutely consume it. And to answer that, my youngest started at 10 when she was able to swallow a capsule. Before then, I used Vitaspray and Citrix C as the combination. Another little tip, and then I'm going directly into the 4 Sunrider products, is the study found that the increase of sugar diminished, hear me on this, the abilities of the brain function, diminished. So although a lot of you think when you eat sugar, it gives you that quick high and you feel alert, actually the reverse is happening. When you're consuming too much sugar, you're degenerating your brain. So I want you to remember that Sunnydew and Sun Nectar are a wonderful ingredient for those of you that like something sweet, but also do not cause a degenerative effect on the brain. And the most interesting part to me came with the term that I speak of many times over, and that's hydration. And it states, even being a few ounces dehydrated, can affect one's cognition every single day. So, for everybody, hear me on this. When we are talking about brain health, we want to always remember, like the rest of our bodies, our brain needs to stay hydrated. So, when you feel dehydrated, as we've talked about before, meaning you were once thirsty and then you forgot, or maybe you have to, as part of your regimen, consume some version of medications and take those daily, and it causes a dry mouth, and you're noticing a dehydration, or you're constipated, dehydrated, or you notice your scalp or your skin is dry, your lips are parched, dehydrated. I want you to understand that's the same impact you're having on your brain and on cognition. So if you want to improve the health and the functionality of your brain, you've got to stay hydrated every day. And that means not waiting until you recognize your skin is itchy, or your scalp is so itchy that it's dry, or your mouth is so dry, right, that it feels hard to speak. You have to pay attention and just do something different, which is, here's a simple trick. Take your weight divide it in half, and that's how many ounces you really are required to consume every single day to stay hydrated. That's your minimum. If you have to take medication, or you already are constipated, or you're already having dry skin, you have to actually go above that. And one way that we make water even more hydrating is Fortune Delight. Our Fortune Delight actually increases the hydration of the water. And so the first product I really want to introduce to you from a different perspective is Fortune Delight. And Fortune Delight is one of Sunrider's beverages. And if you were to go directly to Sunrider's website and click on Shop, which is the green box, you will see a category that says Food and Drinks. Click on the Fortune Delight, and you will see, as you scroll down, something that says, I know all of you already know this, Product Fact Sheet. Click on it. It will give you all the information that you need, or you might want to share about Fortune Delight. But I'm going to paraphrase for you, okay? Fortune Delight hydrates the mind and the body. It makes water even more hydrated, and it is loaded with antioxidants. So not only is it hydrating you, but it's also nourishing you. And that's an important piece because it's nourishing the brain. Think about this for a minute. Not only is it hydrating your brain, but it's nourishing your brain. And it's putting those missing antioxidants that when you are reading all of the updated literature on which individual antioxidant, vitamin, or mineral do I need so that my memory improves, so that my cognition improves, I'm always going to answer it the same way. Fortune Delight has all of it. All of it. Now, I will go right to Fortune Delight for you, and I'm going to click on the product fact sheet, and I'm just going to share 2 lines from the product fact sheet, and then I hope you'll all get on and take a look at it, okay? The first is the gain that Sunrider states from Fortune Delight is that it cleanses out debris, meaning all of the byproduct from whether it's what we breathe in, that's environmental, what we may have to take in because of medications that we've had to take in, and there's residue, foods we may have eaten that aren't so great for us, and materials that are lingering in our bodies and our brains that cannot be broken down. And Fortune Delight acts like a magnet, and along with the water, carries out all of the debris, all of the residue that if it lingers around too long, causes ill health. And not just ill health, but ill mental health. So I want you to think, when you're always asking me, what can I do that actually may enhance the functionality of my brain and at the same time cleanse it? Fortune Delight. So, cleanses, hydrates, infuses with antioxidants, and one of the best benefits is it gives not just your body energy, but your mind energy. I want you to think about the times when you feel the most alert, capable, confident, and what's the expression we use? I'm on fire. My mind's on fire. My brain is on fire. I feel like I woke up and it snapped back. I have heard so many of you say to me, oh my gosh, my mind woke up. That's the kind of energy that Fortune Delight gives to your mind. For those of you that have been drinking it for many years, because we know, right, that it helps with inflammation, and we know that it breaks down lactic acid in the muscles. and we know that you feel good and energized on it. I want you to take that a step further and now take that to the brain. Okay? It's very important as we go forward that we are really looking at I guess I want to say this a different way, how to infuse the nutrition in our minds so our minds really communicate with our bodies more efficiently. And that's that mind-body connection, right? We're not just a body connection. We're a mind-body connection. So the first product, guys, is Fortune Delight. The second product is New Plus. And the reason that it's New Plus is because if there's any version of deficiency at all, from, again, how you've been eating, your genetics, what you come to today with, right? Stress, trauma, exhaustion, lack of sleep, COVID, whatever you come to today with, we've got to put back into the body all the missing nutrients, all of them. New Plus is what I like to always call that infusion of nutrition that brings you out of that dark hole that a lot of you have talked about back into the light. It gives you what you need, and you don't always know what you need. But it gives you all the vegetables that you're lacking. So I want you to think about that example I used of going to the salad bar and making your own salad. And some of you will crave olives, and some of you will crave carrots, and some of you will crave broccoli. New Plus answers all the cravings. And one of the best examples I really have ever seen is that example of New Plus, right? And the two mountains. And how sometimes we can climb up to the top of the mountain and we don't eat again. We skip breakfast, we skip lunch. We instead eat a candy bar. Or we got busy. Someone drinks a cup of coffee instead. Or they just got tired, right? And did not eat right. And they fall off the mountain again. What New Plus always does, is gives back to the body everything it missed and gets you back up to the next mountain. If you eat New Plus consistently, you won't fall and crash. And part of what keeps everybody in a mental imbalance is this crash and burn effect of I ate, I didn't eat, right? I skipped a meal, I ate right this meal, something happened today, I'm stressed. You've got to make sure that you are replacing all the nutrients the body needs and compensate. Okay? So, New Plus is simple, guys. It comes in packets you can open up, put in water, put in your Fortune Delight, put in your oatmeal, make a smoothie. It comes with the dried fruit. It comes without the dried fruit. It comes with, right, some of it has tofu or soybeans, some of it doesn't. Whatever you need, it's there. But I want to remind you that in order for your brain to function, you cannot, and this is true, keep it malnourished. You have got to nourish it and not constantly try to treat its symptoms. I have a headache. My head hurts. I don't have memory today. I feel exhausted in my mind. Those are symptoms. If we always are looking at building our systems, right? I need you to look at the mind the same way. Build it as a system. Eat your New Plus consistently. Eat your New Plus and drink your Fortune Delight. And then, here are the ones to add. You ready? First one, always use your Vitaspray. Every day. Your Vitaspray is a complete combination of foods that have all your B vitamins. As especially, this has the right combination for B12. And B12 absolutely feeds the mind. It'll keep you calm. It'll keep your thoughts calm. It'll keep your thoughts from racing. It helps some of you go to sleep. And for a lot of you, it keeps you awake, right? But not in a jittery way, but in a very calm, effective, focused way. B12 has been known to support energy and mental focus. So if we have just hydrated with Fortune Delight, and we have replaced all the missing nutrients and malnourishment with Nu Plus, now we can use the little things that make big differences. 3 sprays under the tongue, mental focus. You can use it as much as you need it. The second, Energy Plus. I bet a lot of you have either forgotten about this one or don't use it. Energy Plus is absolutely one of my favorite products. And Energy Plus, I'm going to read to you because I think this is important, directly from Sunrider's product fact sheet. Energy Plus is fortified with a proprietary blend of herbs and natural sources of vitamin E to promote energy and mental focus. Did you know that? That's the main reason for Energy Plus? There's a lot of side benefits, right? The amazing side benefits, because of the whole food version of vitamin E in it, is that we know it protects body tissues, and it's important for red blood cells and to help the body use its vitamin K. There's a lot of side benefits, but the main reason Energy Plus exists is to promote mental focus and mental energy. One of the main ingredients in here, this Panax ginseng, has been used for centuries. And what Sunrider states is that this plant has been used for traditional medicinal purposes for centuries. It's used primarily, guys, to support cognitive function. Now, for those of you that did not know that, this may be your new product you add with your regimen. For the rest of you, start it. So we've got, right, we hydrated. We took care of our imbalances. We are now giving our bodies the B12 in a food form, right, so that we cope more effectively. Our mental focus is better. And now we're adding our Energy Plus, so our cognitive function improves. And for those of you that have family members, right, or you have, you know from your genetics, that have imbalances from a cognitive, right, perspective, or for those of you that just want to improve upon it, use Energy Plus. I want to remind everybody that with Energy Plus, which I love, Sunrider states, which I love this, under benefits, that not only does it support your mental and cognitive focus, but also it will give you that ideal pick-me-up in the afternoon. That's how much energy and the lift it gives. It's also really important to know that lift may feel for a lot of you like coffee feels, that caffeine lift. But there's no caffeine crash and there's no caffeine in this. This has nothing to do with caffeine. I think this is what caffeine hoped to be. All right? And at the very end it says, and I love this, under the benefits, and this is right on the product fact sheet, guys, may reduce memory loss associated with normal aging. I'm always fascinated by when you actually take a look at what a product was designed for. You realize this toolbox that we have with Sunrider is miraculous, right? And astounding. The last 3 products, I'm positive you all know what they are, but I'm going to combine them, okay? And the first combination, of course, will be our top Joy and Ease. And all 3 of these products have a little different function. Collectively, they make the biggest difference in this mind-body connection. For those of you that truly have either used these or not used these, I would challenge you for 3 months to use these every day, especially once a day. And you will notice that the mind and the body, whatever the imbalances are, whether it's overthinking, cannot sleep, body aches, right? It can be something as simple, and I mean simple as lack of focus. You will notice just as we feed our 5 systems with quinine, I want you to think of these as the additional 3 systems. So your quinine is digestion and circulation, right? Immune, respiratory, and your endocrine. Think of these as the 3 extras. The central nervous system is your ease. The musculoskeletal system is your joy, right? And think of the cognitive system or the mental system as the top. All right? Just as you're feeding the whole of your internal organs, I want you to now add the brain as part of those systems. Where I want to focus, though, is on your top focus, which is one of Sunrider's newer products. And this makes all the difference for everyone who is struggling or having challenges with that mind-body connection, where you feel that, and a lot of you have shared this with me, that you are either feeling like you're exhausted all day, you're mentally exhausted, the words aren't coming fast enough, the thoughts are a little disjointed, you're experiencing either versions of ADD, ADHD, maybe you already have some version of an imbalance, and we've talked about the importance of mental health, and everyone's looking for a natural alternative. Top Focus is the best natural alternative that will help as we talk about this regeneration of the rest of us, help regenerate maybe what's imbalanced also, or give you at least a better quality with your mind. And I really want to share with you what Sunrider states on Top Focus. Our new brain-boosting formula helps support focus, memory, and mental speed. It's fortified, right, with powerful ginkgo biloba, herbs such as Chinese club moss. There's a multitude of herbs, but this nourishing complex of herbal extracts, minerals, amino acids, etc., support cognitive function while fueling multiple neural pathways, which makes this ideal whether it's kids at school, someone at work, sports, any time for anybody, no matter what age, day or night, where you are recognizing, and a lot of you will say, I know when I have a stomach ache, but I don't always recognize when my mind is having a stomach ache. And I love that analogy. And sometimes we wait too long to actually feed it and prevent and build. We really are just saying, I'm going to treat the symptom. I want you to think about these products, and especially Top Focus, as a building block to use, not just treatment. And Sunrider, I love, under their benefits, really states that it's fast-acting and that you will actually feel sharper in 15 minutes. And they do in-house research. So if they are saying 15 minutes, it's 15 minutes. I trust the doctors there. Also, they're stating there's no added stimulants in here, nothing in here for anyone to worry about. There's non-habit forming, there's no jitters, there's no caffeine, there's no crashing. It supports you in improving, guys, mental clarity, memory, focus, confidence, and a calm alertness. This is important to understand that we have a lot of good nutrition that can build the health and longevity, guys, of your brain. And this is the time to begin to do that. All right, I'm now going to open it up, guys. Share. Anyone you have used any of these products, have experiences, testimonies, aha moments, questions? All of you, I am right here. Jump in.
I have
Star 6. Yes, I heard you. Go ahead.
For someone who is celiac, the Energy Plus, the Metabalance 44, and oh my goodness, there's another one, has like wheat germ oil in it.
Yeah.
So is that off limits then?
So that's an interesting question, and again, there's celiac's a different story in terms of absorption and digestion. I would first and always I would ask whoever their primary physician is. I think it's important, or you can certainly send me an email and let me see the severity of, or talk to me about the celiac. But I think that if they are allowed they may be allowed the oil, but not the actual wheat germ. Okay? It's about how someone digests it and breaks it down. So they're not actually, chewing this and having to digest it. So it's a question that I'm not going to give you an absolute for, but I'd be happy to work through it with you.
Okay, and then how about someone who does not methylate their B12?
Like are they using? It's fine. Are they using Vitaspray?
No, because when they look at the label, it's the
yeah.
one that starts with CYN yeah. or whatever.
Yeah. So again, this is another situation that is my first question would always be: has this been since childhood, or is this new? Where are we on the scale here of how someone came to this point? I would always start anyway with making sure that someone's drinking Fortune Delight, making sure they've got their New Plus. I would start with ingredients that this person felt confident and safe with first, and then we'll look at adding the others, okay?
Thank you so much.
Of course. All right, for all of you who've had a list or who have just thought, I'm adding that product, jump in.
I have a question.
Sure.
It's something I'm not really sure about. I was told maybe to send something to info@sunrider.com.
Mm-hmm.
In the New Plus, there's an ingredient that I'm a little skeptical about, and that is carrageenan.
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell me, because I've heard stories of a lot of negativity on carrageenan, and so I'm curious why they use it.
So, before I answer it, I'd like to actually hear, would you want to CC me? Will you shoot info at an email and CC me? I'd like to see a lot of times when doctors can use an ingredient, they're using it from a different angle for a different reason. And I'd like to hear that reason, and then I'll tag on to it what I think. But let's start with hearing why, okay?
Right.
I like that question. It's a good question.
I can't imagine.
I think I know the answer, but I want to hear, since they create the product, where they're coming from.
I can't imagine that he would use a product or something, a supplement or something like that. I know it's a filler, but something like that in his ingredients.
I know. And I'm always amazed that they might list something a certain way, but the source or the way they've used it, I'm always astounded at the brilliance of it, because I wouldn't have thought of it. So that's why I'm as curious as you are to hear the answer. It'll be a good answer. Okay? Yeah, let's go for it.
I'll let you know.
I stand with you on this.
Okay.
Yeah. Who else? Go for it. Yeah.
Hello?
Yes.
I have a top focus experience.
I love it. Let's hear.
I was told it would work within 15 minutes, and I'm learning a new language.
Oh.
I had a hard time focusing at an hour-long meeting, and I took the top focus, and I was not to be distracted. There was nothing that could distract me. I was zoomed in, and I attributed to, of course, top focus. And another benefit of top focus, I was told that when you have things to do around the house and you kind of put it off, you just kind of look at things that need to be done. If you take top focus, you just proceed right ahead. And I looked at things and I just started accomplishing things. My mind
because we all have the same questions and the same curiosity how everyone's using the products and what your experiences are.
How
Anyone
many
else?
did you take?
Good question.
Hello?
Yep.
How many did you take? How many hot focuses?
I took one focus.
One.
Just one. Wow.
One. Right? I know. That's what concentration does. That's a lot of times we can consume a small amount and have a good effect because it's concentrated. I love you took one. Anyone else?
What is your email address?
Easy. Dr. Dees. DRDEES @comcast.net.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hey, Dr. Dees, it's Margie.
Hi, sweetie.
I'm telling you, all these products you mentioned today, I totally have kind of, in the last, especially this last year, I think just really kind of upped my game on those because I used to be pretty sporadic and stuff, but I started to be more dedicated with that. So I actually keep the top focus on my end table because I usually have a thing of Fortune Delight that I keep by my bedside anyway. And so the first thing I do is I take one top focus as soon as I wake up, and with my Fortune Delight. And I'm telling you, I get more accomplished now in the first part of the day than I ever did before because it would always take me a while to really get going, and I would do a lot of stuff till later. But I love the top focus, but I do the top Ease and Joy as well, and the Energy Plus, and I do all that anyway. But I just kind of was more dedicated this year, and I really can see how my brain function is just more like it's like whoever mentioned that you get more done than you normally would have done. You kind of procrastinate. You don't procrastinate as much. And I could tell. Anyway, I totally agree with everything you said about these products today because the top focus is probably the one thing I added just recently. Since it came out, but I can see a really big difference with that. But again, I don't not eat my other stuff, but I just notice a big change in how I get things done and when I get them done.
Fantastic. That's a great testimony, especially for those that, have been consuming a lot of these products for some time and may be in that exact situation and not using Top Focus, and they could add this. For others, it's a beginning point. Either way, you're all saying the same thing, which is you're getting more done, you're focused, and I love that. I love that part about learning a new language because that tells me, especially in terms of how much of our brains we use, right? That this has, a whole lot of potential. So, all right, guys, you're going to eat your New Plus or version of your New Plus. Remember, it can be the Vita Shake, the Sun Bar, for those of you that like the Protein Plus, but a version of New Plus so that we're not malnourished. We fill in all our missing gaps. Drink your Fortune Delight so we hydrate the brain. So now the brain's been fed, hydrated, and then again, for those of you that can, Energy Plus for mental focus, your Vita Spray, remember that, for that calm, right? Calm energy, coping skills improve. For those of you that can, your MetaBalance 44 to fill in again all the missing micro little bitty nutrients, okay, that we may miss every single day. Top Joy and Ease to feed the systems of our body that impact our brain. The musculoskeletal, right? The central nervous, and of course from the neck up, our mental health. This is going to be, or our cognitive health, this is going to be important in terms of that mind-body, sending the signals, I'm in pain, I'm not in pain, work, don't work, function. And then this top focus, which seems really astounding which is helping everybody, I think, go to that next step of alertness, of improving, right, cognitive abilities, of getting more done. I think that all of these have a place. Whatever your recipe is wonderful. Whether you consume all of these, some of these, okay? There's something here for everybody, okay? So pick your salad. Pick your salad and let's start eating. I'm going to finish by asking Donna to come on, Marlene to come on, update everybody on what's coming for the rest of this evening.